All right, so today's video is going to be a little bit different than the videos y'all are used to seeing from me on this JCB channel. In today's video, I thought we're a couple weeks into the NBA season, about a month into the season at this point, actually, and the rookies are definitely starting to take shape. So I feel like it'd be really interesting to come in here and redraft the 2024 NBA draft a month into the season and talk about the rookies that are playing really well and the rookies that aren't playing as well and how these guys could help these different teams. And so we're going to be using Fanspo here for a mock draft simulator. Now, they do not have the rosters updated fully properly. For example, DeJounte Murray is still listed as a member of the Hawks. So we're going to have to keep that in mind, that it's not going to be perfect, but I do believe that we're going to be able to put together a nice little mock draft here. We're going to do the lottery. So before we hop into the video, if y'all haven't already, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here on this JCB channel. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. The number one pick, the Atlanta Hawks, obviously took Zachary Risacher in real life, and he's been decent. I am not a Zachary Risacher hater at all, but I do not think he would be the number one overall pick if this was done again today. Now, keep in mind, these are ESPN's official rankings prior to the draft. That's the order in which these players are listed. But in my personal opinion, the first pick, I don't see how it's not Jared McCain, to be completely honest. The things that he is doing as a primary playmaker slash secondary playmaker already have been incredible for the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, he's scoring the most points per game by a rookie starting since Michael freaking Jordan. Over 26 points per game since he became a starter for the Sixers, having an incredible rookie year and showing an ability to play both on and off the ball at a high level. Yes, he's an undersized two guard, but I feel like he would fit really well next to Trae Young on the Hawks, or even without Trae Young on the Hawks. And honestly, we're going to start talking about trade stuff on this channel relatively soon. I would not be shocked if Trae Young wasn't a Hawk by the deadline. And honestly, the bigger reason for that is not as much because of Trae Young being bad, but it just hasn't worked well enough, I feel like, for the Hawks. I feel like Jared McCain could be their point guard, could be their two guard, could kind of do whatever they need him to do, and allow Dyson Daniels to have even more flexibility positionally as well. I love the Jared McCain pick looking back at the number one overall pick, and I think he's been the best player in the draft. I don't know how he wouldn't go number one in a redraft right now. Now, looking at the, why in the world does this show Jan Mahimi? What is this depth chart? I'm baffled. Regardless, obviously the Wizards are not looking great, but they have drafted a couple of decent rookies. Bub Carrington and Kaishan George have both shown signs of promise, but the guy they originally drafted number 2 overall, Alex Sarr, has been atrocious, plain and simple, in all honesty. And so in a redraft world where they don't have any of those rookies picked, and they have Jordan Poole, who's actually having a good year. Kyle Kuzma's having a bad year, but will likely at some point get traded at the deadline. The thing is, for a team like the Wizards, I think you have to go best player available. And realistically, looking at the draft, I know it may be a little bit of recency bias. It has to be Dalton Knecht. He could play the 2. He could play the 3. He'd be a perfect piece next to Jordan Poole as a secondary shooter, a guy who can actually put the ball on the floor and create for himself a bit as well. This is a bad team that is in need of talent. And yes, Dalton Knecht is older than your average rookie, and that'd be the one reason that maybe the Wizards wouldn't take him. But I think Knecht would probably have to be the choice here at number 2 with how good he has been playing. I don't know how he's not the choice. Number 3, the Houston Rockets. They took Reed Sheppard originally, and I know Reed Sheppard has not looked great to this point in the season, but this may be the first real surprising choice in this redraft. I would have the Rockets taking Reed Sheppard again. I have so much faith in his shooting ability and in his versatility as a player that he is going to work out as a good NBA player. I have total confidence that he will be a great point guard in this league for a very long time, despite his lack of size. I know he hasn't been a top 3 rookie so far this season, but I don't know how he's not still, at least in my mind, the 3rd pick for the Rockets. Maybe y'all are going to disagree with this one, but I think I lead Reed Sheppard at number 3 still, and that's who I would take. Number 4, the San Antonio Spurs originally took Stephon Castle in this spot, and you know what? I didn't absolutely love the pick at the time, but he's really looked phenomenal his rookie season so far. He's shooting the ball much better than I anticipated that he would. He's showing real offensive capability, and he's a high-level defensive player as well, averaging 10, 2 and 2.5, 3.5. And I mean, the shooting hasn't been great. He's had some good games from the three-point line for sure. I'm thinking more of this Dallas stretch, Lakers stretch, Washington stretch, where he was really good for a few games. but he's been scoring the ball well, not shooting the three great. I get it. I still think he's the guy they would pick again, even in a redraft, because he's fit really well on this roster. And I know that he's the one non-shooter. I mean, him and Sohan can't really play together because of that. I still think with his defense, his size, his versatility, and honestly, the overall skill set that he's proved already as a rookie and his youth, I think you take Stephon Castle. That's my choice at number 4. Number 5 would be the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons took Ron Holland. That looks to this point to have blown up in their face. He does not look good at all. He has not been impressive whatsoever to start his rookie season. Cannot shoot, and the Pistons do not need any more non-shooters. I can promise y'all that. If they had the opportunity to go back, I bet they would love to have taken Dalton Connect. That would be the guy I feel like that this team would have wanted to pick. But in all honesty, they do need wing help, and I don't exactly know off the top of my head who the wing that I would recommend taking would be. I think it would be Jalen Wells. I know he wasn't even considered in the discussion really as a first-round pick coming into the draft, but he has been really, really good for the Memphis Grizzlies as a guy who is shooting the ball at a high level, scoring the ball effectively, and playing his role very, very well. Has probably been the third best rookie to this point in the season behind Jared McCain and Dalton Connect. I know he's not been great defensively, but it feels weird to pick the 47th guy 5th overall. But he fits their needs the best of any of these guys, and I do believe they would take him over Risa Shea if this was the situation they were in. I think you take Jalen Wells, as weird of a take as that may feel like. That's kind of the guy at number 5 right now. Number 6, the Charlotte Hornets originally took Saloon Tijajan. I don't really know how to pronounce his name still, to be completely honest. I need to learn that. I know he has not been great to start his rookie year, to be completely honest. I don't think he's been quite what the Hornets were hoping he would be. The efficiency's been really, really bad, and he's had himself a rough start to his career, just like a guy like Alex Sarr, just like Ron Holland, just like we're going to get to Matas Buzelis. I have a hard time understanding, even at 19 years old, that they would even consider him in hindsight. I know hindsight is 2020, but I feel like you'd have a really hard time considering him as the option. And honestly, despite Risa Shea's not elite efficiency to start his career, he's shown real flashes of being a really good NBA player. I think he's going to carve out a role for himself. I know the three-point shooting hasn't been great. I know the shooting in general hasn't been elite, but I do believe Risa Shea is going to carve himself out a role as a very good NBA player. I think he's actually a really solid two-way guy, and I don't have a problem with him as the 6th pick. I think that's who they would take in a redraft, is Zachary Risa Shea. Number 7. The Portland Trail Blazers originally took Donovan Clingan, and honestly, I kind of like the Clingan choice. The thing is, they do have 2 centers prior to drafting Clingan, in Rob Williams, who's admittedly very injury prone, and DeAndre Ayton, who you just never know what to expect out of him. But honestly, I think Clingan's been really solid. He is actually showing the ability to stretch the floor pretty well. He's a very nice inside piece. He's already averaging 2 blocks a game. I know that Zach Edey's stats are a little bit more impressive to this point in their rookie seasons, but I don't really have a huge issue with the Clingan pick. Honestly, I think you could go either way here. Zach Edey or Donovan Clingan. I'm going to lean Clingan because of the youth. I know I'm not a big potential over numbers guy. I've already talked about that recently in a couple of videos, but I think I'm going to lead Donovan Clingan because of the potential, because of the talent that I believe he has, and because of the youth of the Trailblazers and their more rebuilding situation. I think Clingan would still be the choice at number 7 for the Blazers. Number 8, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They took Rob Dillingham, and here's the honest truth, y'all. We have not seen enough of Rob Dillingham to truly know if this is a good pick or not. But what I can say is the Timberwolves' biggest need is a future point guard. And Rob Dillingham, at this point in the draft, if you look at the guys who are considered point guards and you scroll through here, I'm not really sure there's anybody else who has been more impressive to this point in their career than Rob Dillingham. I think he hasn't played much, but I think there's a lot of potential there, and I don't feel like any of these other guys. I mean, I know Topic and Carter are both hurt. Bub Carrington has looked pretty good. I will say Bub Harrington would have to be a consideration here from how well he's played so far. I think it's actually Carlton Carrington. He's not going to come up as Bub, but Bub Carrington's been good. He has, legitimately, and I think he's a solid PG. I do wonder a little bit, though, if they would take the guy who's been playing better, admittedly on a bad team in Washington, over the guy that they originally felt like was their choice. This is a weird spot here because of how little Dillingham's played, but I am a Rob Dillingham believer, despite how many few minutes he's played. He's starting to play a little bit more. I think I'd lean Rob Dillingham. He'll still here at number 8, despite Bub Carrington having that better production. Number 9, the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think I even need to waste time on that. They took Zach Edey, and I'm not going to lie, they would be thrilled to still have Zach Edey available to them at number 9. And honestly, me letting Zach Edey fall all the way to 9 in a redraft might be my bad to a certain extent. But I see no argument whatsoever in where he would not be the number 9 pick still. If the Grizzlies had to redraft today and still had the ability to get Edey at 9, they would be jumping for joy. I 100% believe that they would still take Zach Edey here at number 9. Number 10, the Utah Jazz took Cody Williams. He's been very bad. I do not think that Cody Williams, I understand the Jazz are another one of those teams that's very much rebuilding, but I don't think he is looking like a good choice at all. His efficiency has been atrocious. He's really not adding anything positive on either the offensive or defensive end of the court to this point in his career, in my opinion. I think he has been really a disaster, in all honesty, of a pick at number 10. And now the honest truth is the other guys available who were toward the top of this draft have also kind of been disasters. Guys like Sar, Buzelis, Saloon. And honestly, when you scroll through here, it becomes a tougher choice for a team like the Jazz. But honestly, I think they'd go with Bub Carrington. I really think they'd be happy to see him fall to them as a future point guard. I don't think Colin Sexton is the answer long term. Jordan Clarkson's getting older. This is not a roster with a really good point guard on the team. And I do think that getting a guy like Bub Carrington, who is showing real potential as a scorer and as a playmaker in Washington, I think they'd be very, very pleased to get him. I'm not the biggest Keontae George fan either. I don't think he's a very good player in all honesty, period. But he's certainly not really a point guard. He's not the playmaker that Bub Carrington is. I'd take Bub Carrington here at 10, and I'd be very happy about it as the Utah Jazz. Number 11, the Chicago Bulls took Matas Buzelis. And honestly, I wonder what this team would do in hindsight. Because you look at this roster, Nikola Vucevic has played really, really well to this point in the season, but I think he'll probably be traded by the deadline. Probably. I don't think the Bulls are really trying to win, although they might seriously, if they keep playing decent, they might look at this season and go, we have a chance to play in. Maybe we don't make moves. They have a lot of guards: Lonzo, Josh Giddey, Zach LaVine, Kobe White. This is not a team that would draft a point guard. And in all honesty, none of the point guards still available are guys that I would really be looking to add either. And in all honesty, this is a little bit of a tougher spot for me personally. I'm not totally sure what I would do if I was the Chicago Bulls with this pick. Because here's the thing, y'all. I haven't seen enough out of guys like Buzelis or Holland at all to see them as even justifiable picks. Tristan Da Silva has been a decent contributor for the Magic so far, although I'm not exactly sure what his efficiency is looking like. 39-30. I mean, it's not great, but as a rookie, it's not awful. He's been a contributor. But in my opinion, I think this pick at number 11, they would lean Ryan Dunn. And the reason for that is he has still, I know his shooting has dropped off as of late, but I do believe that Ryan Dunn is going to be a much better shooter than was previously anticipated as a player. And I think he is a very, very talented defensive player. And I do believe that with the improvements as a shooter that he is showing, and I know it's been more of a struggle as of late, he's going to be one of the better rookies in this class as a two-way player. And I think the Bulls would love to get Ryan Dunn at small forward instead of Matas Buzelis if they had the choice. And that's so that we're going to go with that number 11. Number 12 would be the Oklahoma City Thunder. I am literally forgetting who they picked Topic. That's who they picked. Was number 12 at number 12 is Nikola Topic. Honestly, here's the truth about the Thunder. They don't need to add assets now. They need guys who can be contributors in the future. I am not sure what to think about Topic as a player right now, considering we haven't seen him at all because obviously of injury. But I feel like I trust the Oklahoma City scouting department more than anything. Number one, they do a great job of drafting. I mean, Casey Williams was an awesome pick last year. I think this is a good team. I think this is a very, very talented team. And honestly, a guy like Topic, who is not going to be a contributor this year, not going to be a player this year really at all, that they even count on or even likely plays this entire season, I don't see why they wouldn't take Topic, to be honest, because I trust their scouting department. And if they believe he was the guy they wanted to try to develop into an NBA player, I would trust that pick and I would take him at number 12 because I trust Oklahoma City's front office decision-making at a very high level. And then at number 13, the Sacramento Kings originally took Devin Carter, kind of a similar situation to Nikola Topic in that he also is injured. Now, he got hurt after the draft, whereas Topic was injured going into the draft. And so in that situation, it is a little bit of a different spot. But I feel like the idea with Devin Carter was that he would be a really nice backup point guard option to De'Aaron Fox. And I think he's a guy who, I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked a lot at his college stats. So I'm going to real quickly just come in here and look at his college stats again before I confirm this pick. But I mean, as a senior, he shot 37% from three on 7 attempts a game, averaged 20 a game at Providence, who was a good team. And I mean, he's a good rebounder as well. I don't know if he's a point guard exactly, but he rebounded really, really well. The assist turnover ratio isn't as good as you'd like to see. Realistically, he's probably more of a combo guard than a point guard at the NBA level. It's a similar situation, though, where none of these top guys at this point feel like great choices. And as I scroll down, I mean, I like Terrence Shannon Jr. a lot, but he's only playing in the G League right now. I don't feel like there's anybody who really jumps off the page as a great choice. I mean, AJ Mitchell's looked good for the Thunder. I like him, but I don't know if I'd take him here at 13. At this point in the draft, I realistically think I'm just going to stick with what they chose. They liked Devin Carter, and I like Devin Carter's rebounding a lot as a guard. I'll say that. His numbers looked really, really good as a senior. Very good defensive player as well. I think I would trust the Kings there, and I would take Devin Carter at number 13 to end the lottery of this draft. And so there you go. That is what I would do for the lottery of the 2024 draft if I was redrafting the draft today. Jared McCain, Dalton Connect, Reed Shepherd, Stephon Castle, Jalen Welsh, Zachary Risache, Donovan Clingan, Rob Dillingham, Zach Edey, Bub Carrington, Ryan Dunn. And then the only 2 picks, well, but I'm sorry, Edey was also the same pick, and so was Clingan. And so was Reed Shepherd. Okay, so we actually have like 6 picks that are the same, 5 or 6 picks that would be the same, because Stephon Castle too. But a lot of change, and a lot of the draft also would remain the same at this point in my redraft. Let me know what y'all think of this redraft in the comment section down below. If there's anything you would do differently, and if you did enjoy the video, make sure y'all hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.